So, what if I told you that the trees in your backyard are right now sending warnings to each other? Or that the flowers in your garden can literally call for help? Well, today on The Explainer, we're going to uncover the secret, silent language of plants.
All right, let's just dive right in by challenging our own senses. Think about it. When you walk through a forest, or even just a park, what do you hear? Birds, the wind, maybe your own footsteps. But what if that's not the whole story? Not even close.
See, that silence you think you hear is really just a limit of our own human perception. The green world all around us is locked in constant, complex conversations. I'm talking about plants sending warnings, sharing food, and even calling for backup. We just haven't known how to listen until now.
So our first stop on this journey is, believe it or not, right beneath our feet. We're heading into a world that's just as busy and connected as our own internet.
And this isn't just some cute metaphor, It's a real, vast, living communication grid. Imagine a biological internet made of these tiny fungal threads. They connect the roots of different plants together, sometimes across an entire forest. It's literally, and I mean literally, a wood wide web.
So, what's actually flowing through this network? It's not data packets, that's for sure. It's life itself. You've got plants trading vital resources, things like sugars, nitrogen, water. But they're also sending something way more critical. They're sending information. Urgent warnings.
Okay, check this out. It's basically a cooperative defense system. Let's say one tree gets attacked by some insects. It doesn't just sit there and take it. No way. It blasts out a chemical distress signal through that fungal network. And its neighbors, they get the message through their roots and immediately start producing their own defensive compounds, making their leaves taste awful to the bugs. They're getting ready for an attack before it even arrives. It's like a collective immune system for the whole forest. It's amazing.
And get this, it's not random at all. These networks are so sophisticated that these big central hub trees, scientists call them mother trees, can actually recognize their own kids, their own offspring. And they'll send them extra nutrients and carbon through the network. Giving them a better shot at survival. It's family.
All right, so that's what's happening underground. Now let's move up into the air itself, because a whole different kind of conversation is happening right there. Whispers on the wind.
So how do plants talk through the air? Well, they use a language of scent. It's made of these chemicals called volatile organic compounds, or VOCs for short. You can just think of them as chemical words, or maybe aromatic text messages, each one carrying a super specific message.
Let me walk you through a little drama that unfolds on, say, a single tomato plant. Picture this. A hungry caterpillar shows up and starts munching on a leaf. Simple enough, right? The plant is officially under attack.
Now, the plant doesn't just send out some generic SOS signal. No, this is way cooler. The mix of the caterpillar's saliva and the chewed-up leaf creates a totally unique chemical signature. So the plant releases this very specific blend of VOCs into the air. It's a distress call that basically screams, "Help, I'm being eaten by this exact type of caterpillar."
And guess who picks up on that very specific scent? The caterpillar's #1 enemy, a parasitic wasp. The plant has literally called in an airstrike on its attacker. It's summoned a bodyguard out of thin air.
So the wasp flies in, lays its eggs inside the caterpillars, and poof, problem solved. The plant is saved. This just shows you, plants are not passive victims. They are actively manipulating their environment, recruiting allies to fight their battles for them. Incredible.
Okay, so we've got an underground internet and a language of scent. Pretty amazing, right? But what if I told you their ability to sense and interact with the world goes even further, like straight into the realm of science fiction? Yeah, this is where things get really, really wild. We're now finding out that plants can feel touch, they can sense vibrations, they can hear specific sounds, and, get this, they can even learn from experience and remember.
I mean, can plants actually learn and remember? That's a huge question, and it kind of challenges our whole definition of what intelligence even is. So let's look at a fascinating experiment that put this very idea to the test.
So scientists worked with the Mimosa pudica plant. You might know it. It's the one that curls up its leaves when you touch it. They set up this rig to drop a little bit of water on it, over and over. At first, predictably, the plant freaked out and closed its leaves. But after a while, it just stopped. It learned the water drops weren't a threat, and it stayed open. But here's the craziest part. It remembered that lesson for weeks, even when they stopped the experiment and started it up again. And hearing?
What about that? Well, get a load of this number, 200 hertz. Turns out that's a sound frequency that corn roots can actually hear. It's a low hum, pretty similar to the sound of flowing water. And here's the incredible thing. The roots will actively grow towards the sound, even if there's no actual water there. They're following the sound of a promise.
So, look, understanding the secret world isn't just a cool science fact. It has huge, real-world implications for how we live, how we farm, how we interact with the entire natural world.
When we understand this language, we can start to collaborate with nature instead of just trying to control it. Imagine farmers using companion plants that literally protect each other from pests. Or what about developing sprays that trigger a plant's natural defenses before an attack even happens? We could drastically reduce the need for pesticides. It's a total game changer.
Really, the biggest thing to take away from all this is a fundamental shift in how we see things. Plants aren't just passive, green decorations. They're active, sensing, communicating beings. They're participants in this incredibly complex society that's happening all around us all the time.
So yeah, this knowledge kind of changes everything. The next time you walk through a forest or even just look at a houseplant, remember, you are standing in the middle of a very busy, very complex conversation. Plants are talking all the time. The real question is, are we finally ready to listen?